Have you ever been the last person on a late-night bus? You know the feeling. The city's just a blur outside the window, and all you can hear is the hum of the engine. It's kind of lonely, right? But what if you're not actually alone? Today, we are diving into the chilling story of the haunted bus. Yeah, that's a pretty unsettling thought, isn't it? You're exhausted, all you want to do is get home, and you figure you've got the whole place to yourself. But this story, well, it suggests there are other passengers on board, the kind that never, ever get off. All right, so our story kicks off like a lot of scary stories do on a dark and stormy night. Let's meet our main character, Tushar. He is having a really bad night, and it's about to get a whole lot worse. You can just feel the rising panic, can't you? Tushar's soaked to the bone, totally drained from work, and now he's sprinting through the rain because he sees his last ride home pulling away from the stop. With one final desperate burst of energy, he manages to jump on. The relief is huge, but man, he is completely gassed. So he practically falls into his usual seat by the window, just trying to catch his breath. He glances around and that's when it hits him. The bus is totally, completely empty. There's just the sound of the rain drumming on the roof and the hiss of the doors. For now, it's just him. But here's the thing. That quiet, it's not gonna last. Tushar might be done with the night, but the night and this particular bus are definitely not done with him. He's so exhausted, he conks out. But maybe 2 minutes later, something wakes him up. His eyes snap open, and the world has just completely shifted. The empty bus, it's now jam-packed with people, and they're all just sitting there in total silence. His mind is just racing. Wait, how did they all get on? The bus never even stopped. But he is just so tired, he kind of pushes the thought away. It's gotta be his mind playing tricks on him, right? It has to be. So he closes his eyes again, trying to just block it all out. But when he wakes up the next time, poof, they're gone. Vanished into thin air. The bus is dead silent and empty again. No stop was made. Nobody got off. Okay, now that unease is starting to bubble up into some real genuine fear. So right when Tushar is trying to wrap his head around what just happened, he gets a new travel buddy. And this one seems to know exactly what's going on. And he's about to give Tushar some answers that he is absolutely not ready to hear. All of a sudden, a smell just cuts through the damp air. It's sharp, it's distinct. It's a beedi, one of those thin, hand-rolled cigarettes. Tushar looks over, and sitting right next to him, where there was nobody a second ago, is an old man, just quietly smoking. Tushar, trying to sound casual, he mentions something like, wow, this bus was just full of people a minute ago. The old man looks at him with these eyes that look like they've seen way too much, and he says, for 30 years, son, I have traveled on this bus every night. No human dares to board after midnight. Yeah, that's not just small talk. That is a serious warning. The old man then leans in and his voice drops to a whisper. He tells Tushar about another night, a lot like this one. He saw another passenger, a man with eyes like black holes, just lifeless. This thing looked right at him, whispered, "You shouldn't be here," and then just disappeared. And listen, this isn't just some campfire story. He's telling him about this bus right now. They say, after midnight, he says, something roams this bus. Something that isn't human. Tushar tries to kind of laugh it off, but it's way too late. That fear is taking root. You'd think after a warning like that, you'd be wide awake, right? But Tushar is just so drained, he drifts off one last time. And when he wakes up, well, this is it. He's in the thick of the nightmare now. His eyes snap open. The bus is quiet. The old man, gone. Tushar's gaze drifts to the front of the bus, and he sees this lone figure. A man sitting perfectly still, his face completely hidden by a newspaper. I mean, who does that at 1 a.m? Tushar's heart is just hammering against his ribs. He has to know. His voice is shaking, but he calls out, "Mister, who are you?" Absolute silence. Just the rain and the sound of his own breathing. And then, ever so slowly, the newspaper starts to come down. What Tushar sees is pure horror. A face just drenched in blood, a caved-in skull, and eyes. every bit as lifeless as the old man described. He just screams. He squeezes his eyes shut, recoiling in terror. I mean, who wouldn't? But then he feels this icy cold hand on his shoulder. He forces himself to look again, and the man's face is completely normal, clean, uninjured. He's even offering this weirdly calm little smile. The whiplash between those two images is absolutely terrifying. The man speaks, and his voice is just chillingly calm. You got scared, didn't you? Strange things happen on this bus. Forget what you saw. This isn't comfort, it's confirmation of the horror. And then he leaves Tushar with one final warning. Don't stay here, or else. At this point, Tushar is just done. He's not thinking, he's just reacting. His only thought is to get off this bus right now. But the ride isn't over just yet. The final, terrifying truth is about to be revealed. Tushar doesn't need to be told twice. He scrambles for the exit. As he does, he sees the man again, now just standing calmly by the open doorway of the speeding bus. The man gives him one last look, and then he jumps. Tushar hears a sickening crash and a scream from outside. A moment later, a bus stop appears out of the dark. Without a second thought, Tushar just leaps out into the rain and runs. He's standing there, drenched and panting, watching it drive away. And as it passes under a flickering streetlight, the whole illusion just shatters. It's not a normal bus. It's a mangled, half-burnt wreck. The ghost of a terrible accident. And the bus isn't empty. It's filled with these silent, shadowy figures. And looking out from one of the windows, he's them. The old man and the man with the newspaper. And the man is still smiling that calm, chilling smile, watching him as the phantom bus disappears into the night. So let me ask you, if you survived an experience like that, if you saw something so impossible, would you tell anyone? Or would you keep the secret of the haunted bus to yourself and just let the next hired passenger find out on their own?